Man, say man, this is the A-Man Show, back at it again for more content. So the NBA regular season is about to end, which means that the Rookie of the Year race is pretty much already decided. Of course, you got your guys such as Jaime Jaquez Jr., who had a very solid season for the Miami Heat, has been one of the best role players in the league. Brandon Miller had a very underrated rookie season with the Charlotte Hornets, and by the way, I will be doing a vid on the Anus Hornets later down the line. And also Chet Holmgren. While these guys had great rookie seasons in their own right, none of them has been playing at an all-time rookie level like Victor Wembanyama. Wemby has been so great as a rookie that he's already a top 20 player in the league. Yes, you heard that right. He's doing this at 19, 20 years old. For a guy to put up an all-time level rookie season while being a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, then that right there goes to show you that this guy is destined to be one of, if not the greatest player of all time. So in this video, I'm finna discuss why Victor Wembanyama is the greatest rookie of all time. But first, make sure y'all subscribe. I post NBA and NFL content. Turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss anything new from me. Anyways, stay tuned and let's get on with it. Wemby from the beginning has already shown at 16 years old that he's going to be special. So much that he can play in the league at this age. A guy who is a 7'5", extremely mobile, handle, shoot, playmate, guard, perimeter players, as well as defend the rim. No one has ever seen someone who is this tall and capable. A guy who can do all of that is just destined to be the most hyped prospect since LeBron. And unlike Bron, he wasn't as scrutinized from the media and from his future teammates. The only concern that we all had is that can he stay healthy? Because if we look back in history, guys that were over 7 foot had an increased chance of having a boatload of injuries in their career. But aside from that, there isn't really any concern regarding to Wemby, and it was clear that he was going to be the #1 overall pick of last year's draft, and he was. And being in an organization like the San Antonio Spurs, who had a history of first overall picks that were big men, and both of them will become all-time great players at their position, Wemby being the first overall pick is history repeating itself. Now, going into his rookie season, especially in the beginning, like every rookie, he has struggles adjusting to the game, but despite that, we have seen what he's capable of doing, such as already having a polished offensive game, the ability to pull up from deep, as well as already being an elite defensive player. But even that, Chet Holmgren was outplaying him, and he was the front runner for the Rookie of the Year up until that point. But after the All-Star break, that's when Wemby started to show that he's destined to be a revolutionary, one-of-a-kind type of guy. During this post-All-Star stretch, he's averaging 23 points, 12 rebounds per game, 5 assists, shooting 45% from the field, 32% from 3, and 76% from the charity stripe. He's also averaging 2 steals and an absurd 4 blocks per game. The guy is already a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in just his rookie year. Think about that. And as well as not only scoring at a high level, but the guy is already a high-level offensive player. He's the first player to record 75 threes, 150 assists, and 150 blocks in a single season, and it took him about 48 games to do so. His defensive impact is so great. In the month of February, they were actually 7th in defensive rating, but when Wemby was on the bench, they were 28th in the league. So just him on the court, they are a top defensive team, but without him, they are fucking anus. Not only the Spurs are very lackluster defensively, but offensively they cannot space the floor whatsoever, and in fact they are 25th in the league in 3-point percentage. As well as playmaking goes, aside from Trey Jones, who is average at best at that, they really don't have any playmakers to set Wemby for easier looks. And if you have this problem, then that's how rookie will struggle. But for Wemby, that's a different story, because despite him having all these disadvantages, he still managed to thrive as a player, so much so that he was literally the engine of this team. A guy that essentially can do everything at 7'4", and the icing on the cake was last week against the New York Knicks, one of the great games of this year. Jalen Brunson had an all-time great night where he put up 61 a few points away from breaking Bernard King's record, but was interrupted by Wemby's all-time rookie performance of 40 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists on 13 of 22 shooting, including 4 from 9 shooting from 3, along with 2 steals and a block. He's the first rookie since Shaq to put up a 40-20 game, and Wemby's the 9th player in history to put up these stat lines. 7 of them, Willis Reed, Wilt, Kareem, Shaq of course, Walt Bellamy, Elvin Hayes, and Bob McAdoo, all of which are Hall of Fame, and some of them are all-time great players. And I know it's a lot of records, but I'm saying this just to prove a point. Wembanyama is something that we have never seen in the NBA, and that is him being a 7'4", 7'5" alien who can essentially do anything he wants in the court, and that is scoring, playmaking, rebounding, shooting, blocking, defending, all aspects of the game. And this is truly the next revolution regarding the all-time great player, because when we look at all-time greats, we think of them as the guys that have revolutionized the game. Bill Russell has revolutionized the game based on how much defense can win you championships. Wilt Chamberlain has revolutionized the game based on how much he has changed the rules of the game, because the league has never seen a guy this dominant and athletic, but at the same time overrated. But that's another story for another day. Kareem revolutionized the game because he had made it the gold standard that every championship team needs a dominant big man. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson revolutionized the game because they were the ones that not only saved the NBA from the cocaine epidemic in the 70s, but they popularized the sport of basketball. And then get to Michael Jordan, and not only he globalized basketball, but he made it the gold standard that you can win multiple championships with an all-time great shooting guard, because before him, high scoring, let alone elite shooting guards, were frowned upon during the 80s. It was never viewed as the main guys to win you a championship. Then you go to LeBron and how he popularized more players that can truly do anything on the court. Steph Curry revolutionized the game, and like many legends, made it the gold standard that in order to win a ring, you need to shoot the basketball consistently well, and the list goes on and on. So going back to Wembanyama, he's the next evolution of players that are eventually going to come into the league, and that is guys that are above 7 foot but can literally do anything on the court, and Wemby will be the prime example of this. Like I said, nobody has ever seen a player who is this tall, this athletic, and this skilled than him. In all honesty, guys, it's not possible beyond human comprehension. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm just making a point of how special this kid is, and to go even further, why he's the greatest rookie the league has ever seen. Now I know people in the comment section will say, oh, what about Kareem? What about Jordan, Wilt, Shaq, all these guys were rookies. I'm not discounting all of these guys. And hell, if you say that these guys are greater rookie players than Wemby, I won't fight you. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Here is mine. Wemby, despite the limited spacing and playmaking of the Spurs team, is still able to average 21 points, 11 rebounds, along with 4 assists, shooting 46% from the field and 32% from 3. And if you compare the likes of LeBron and Luka as rookies, he's not only more efficient from the field than them, but he is more skilled than LeBron and Wemby, and Luka is neck and neck in regards to skill. But on the defensive side of the ball, Wemby as a defender is already arguably the best defensive player in the league, especially how much impact he makes for this heinous roster. And then comparing Wemby to Kareem, Jordan, Shaq, Wilt, all of those guys as rookies, those guys were not as skilled as Wemby as a rookie, despite them staying in college longer, polishing their games even more during that time. Wemby at 19, 20 years old already has a polished game. He's a better playmaker than all 4 of them, I might add. As well as defense speaking, he is better than all of them as rookies. So not only Wemby has all the talent in the world to be a revolutionary type player, but he has the work ethic and drive to be all of that. He strives to learn from the best, whether that is through Greg Popovich, whether that is through other legends, and he actually implements them to his game. His work ethic is similar to Giannis, where he strives to be the best every time he steps into the court. And if you have that work ethic plus the talent, Man, this is the worst that Wemby is going to be for the rest of his career up until he hits 40 years old or something if he plays for this long. But nah, man. Wemby is truly going to break this league. I expect him to average at least a 30-piece next season, along with 13 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 50, 40, 85 splits. Like, that's how better this guy is going to be going to next season. And hopefully the Spurs will utilize his talent effectively by getting another playmaker / check-in option, like for example Trae Young, along with testing free agency, trying to sign as many pieces around Wemby as possible. Because if you have a generational type guy like Wemby on the roster, you need to build a championship contender as quickly as possible. You don't want him to end up in a situation like LeBron in his early years. So I pretty much made my case of why Victor Wembanyama is the greatest rookie of all time. Not only he can score, but he has the playmaking, rebounding. All of this makes him the greatest offensive rookie ever, as well as the greatest defensive rookie ever. And the fact that he did this at 19, 20 years old, that right there shows that Wembanyama is the greatest rookie in history and will change the NBA forever. And that's the vid. Let me know in the comment section below on Wemby and y'all's opinions on who is the greatest rookie ever. And also make sure y'all subscribe for more NBA and NFL content. Road to 1K subs. Turn on post notifications. And that is all. Stay litty. This is the A-Man Show. Sign out.